ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya ba bye bye bye, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya ba bye bye, ya la 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 la, ya ba bye, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
To all of you hardcore folks, Shabbatniks, yes, who are here was it 2 days after Yom Kippur? More holidays to come, but it is really good. There are more of you than I was expecting, to be honest. But it is really good to see you here and to have those of you online joining us as well. We begin with the lighting of the Shabbat candles on pages 3 and 2, and I'd like to invite up Wendy Strickerts to light the Shabbat candles.
So you're going to read this, okay, and then you're going to light the candles. Okay. And you can say this or sing this.
You don't have any glass. You're going to come over here. Wendy, you're going to come over here.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we be our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled lights, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle the lights. Okay, sorry. I don't have my glasses on.
It's okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to the acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Amen. We continue with Ele Chamda Libi on page 11 in our prayer books, page 11, at the bottom of the page. Ele Chamda Libi, Ele Chamda Libi, Ele Chamda Libi, Ele Chamda Libi. That's the first part. Try that again. Ele Chamda Libi, Ele Chamda Libi, Ele Chamda Libi, Ele Chamda Libi. Keep going with the rabbi. Ele Chamda Libi, 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 Ele Chamda Libi. Oh, Sana Ve'ana Titale. Oh, Sana Ve'ana Titale. Oh, Sana Ve'ana Titale. Dalibi, Elecam Dalibi, Elecam Dalibi.
A light is sown for the righteous, page 14, the very last paragraph of Hebrew. Or Zarua Latzadik.
O Zarua Latzadik, O Yisrael Lev Simcha. O Zarua Latzadik, O Yisrael Lev Simcha. O Zarua Latzadik, O Yisrael Lev Simcha. O Yisrael Lev Simcha. O Zarua Latzadik, O Yisrael Lev Simcha. O Yisrael Lev Simcha. La 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 ya la 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 ya la ya la la ya la 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 ya la la. O Zarua Latzadik, O Yisrael Lev Simcha. O Yisrael Lev Simcha. O Zarua Latzadik, O Yisrael Lev Simcha. O Yisrael Lev Simcha. O Zarua Latzadik, O Yisrael Lev Simcha. O Yisrael Lev Simcha. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la ya la la.
Page 20 and 21, we welcome Shabbat as a bride.
Lecha lecha dodi, ligrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, ligrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekabela. La 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 lecha dodi, ligrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, ligrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad, Ishmi'anu echad yochad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shemu tiferet v'litila la 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 lecha dodi, ligrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, ligrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekabela. Ligrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor habracha merosh mikedem nesucha. Sof maaseh v'machshavati la 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 lecha dodi, ligrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, ligrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekabela.
Verse 5.
It'oreri, kiva orech uvi ori, ori shir dameri, kevod Adonai alayich nigla la la lecha dodi, ligrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, ligrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam v'simcha u'betzola, toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, boi vichala. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekabelam. Lecha dodi, likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekabelam. La 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekabelam. Lecha dodi, likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekabelam.
Before you have a seat, take a moment to say Shabbat Shalom to someone near you or not quite so near you. If you are online, say hello on
Shabbat Shalom.
online as well.
Okay, more schmoozing later. We're going to continue now.
Page 26.
I know. Yitkada Shemer Rabba.
Amen.
Page 26. Ve'amad yivrach yilutei ve'amlich malchutei ve'chayechon v'yomechon uvechayedecho Beit Yisrael b'gala uvizman kariv ve'imru.
Amen.
Yehesh meraba mevarach le'alam ulam me'omaya yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitpa'ar v'yitromam ve'yitnaseh ve'yithadar ve'yithaleh ve'yithalal shemei dekudishah barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran me'alma ve'imru.
Amen. Please rise again, page 28, for Baruch.
Yai la la la, yai la la la, yai la 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 la, yai. Ay la la la, ay la la la, yai la 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 la. Barechu et Adonai hamevorach. Barechu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam vaed. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam vaed. Yai la la la, yai la la la, yai la 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 la, yai. Yai la la la, yai la la la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la.
Page 30, we join together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah potech sha'arim, uvitvuna meshane itim, umachalif et hayizmanim, umsader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or. Umavir yom umevi layla, umavdil ben yom uvein layla. Adonai tzvaot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Page 32.
Avat olam Beit Yisrael Amecha Ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Chokim u'mishpatim Otanu lemadeta Al ken Adonai Eloheinu B'shochmeinu v'komeinu Nasiach behukecha V'nismach b'divrei Toratcha U'b'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu U'bahem negeh yomam v'layla Ve'avatcha atasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev amo Yisrael Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai echad 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leholam va'ed Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leholam va'ed Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai echad Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai echad. Please be seated. Continue with V'ahavta on page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim lelohechem
Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lihiot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet.
On page 39, we offer responsively, in a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt, we were delivered. At Sinai, we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again, we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us to continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. We hold our place on page 40 and turn to page 342 for Miriam's song as we celebrate the crossing of the sea. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And Miriam was a weaver of unique variety. The tapestry she wove was one which saved our history. With every step and every strand she crafted her delight. A woman touched with spirit, she dances towards the light. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. As Miriam stood upon the shores, gazed across the seas, the wonder of this miracle she soon came to believe. Whoever thought the sea would part with an outstretched hand, and we would walk to freedom and march to the promised land. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And Miriam the prophet took her timbrel in her hand, and all the women followed her just as she had planned. And Miriam raised her voice in song, we sang with praise and might. We've just lived through a miracle, we're gonna dance tonight. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehi lo rozei pelem, nora tehi lo rozei pelem. Malechotecha ra'u banecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Le'lianu ve'amru, Le'lianu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. V'nemar kifad Adonai et Yaakov, uge'alo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
We continue on pages 43 and 42, hoping that everyone will have a chance at love and understanding, peace and friendship.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu leshalom. Ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim. Ufros aleinu shukat lomecha. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu leshalom. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu leshalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 44, Vishamru.
Vishameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, ledorotam berit olam. Vishameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, ledorotam berit olam. Beni uvein bnei Yisrael oti leolam. Ki sheishet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim vet haaretz. Vishameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, ledorotam berit olam. Vayom ha-shevi'i Shabbat, Shabbat vayinafash. Join me. Vishameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, ledorotam berit olam.
We continue with Hatfilah on page 46. I invite you to rise and bow to your spirit. And thank you very much to the Sisterhood for putting the beautiful Bima decorations and Yuval is enjoying learning the concept of harvest.
Nice work. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufia gitehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Velohei Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Velohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Velohei Leah. Ha'el, Hagadol, Hagibor, Vanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Geola Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer, Umoshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah rav lehoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofei cholim, O matir asurim, O mekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha bal givurot, O midom elach, Melech memit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata lachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kedoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
We continue with our private prayers. When you finished with your prayers, you may be seated.
Page 62 at the bottom of the page. Ose shalom bimromav. Ose shalom bimromav. Hu yaseh, hu yaseh, hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh, hu yaseh, hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh, hu yaseh, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu. May the one who brings peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who brings peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who brings peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who brings peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, say shalom, bimromav. Oh, say shalom. Bimromav, hu yaseh, hu yaseh, hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh, hu yaseh, hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh, hu yaseh, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu.
So sorry. Who has something good to share from the past week? I know that it's been Yom Kippur and we've sort of been beating ourselves up somewhat physically as well as spiritually to think about all of the things that we've done wrong over the past year, but surely there has been some good. Someone was just, I think the Mariners won, and that's the good thing that happened this week. Was that what you were signing to me there?
My grandson's first birthday party is tomorrow.
Oh, grandson's first birthday party. Come on.
I was at the Tacoma Urban League Gala last night, and I won 2 tickets for a flight anywhere in America that Alaska Airlines flies.
Ooh.
I know, amazing.
Ooh, congrats.
One of my very close, my best friend, 2 months ago was hit by a train in Germany, and she's been in a coma. And it didn't look like she was going to live, and it looked like she was brain dead. And this week she actually woke up.
Wow. Wow.
I was taking a tour of Frank Toby Jones, and who was there but Joan Garden? So I went over and went to their apartment, and now it just feels like it's going to be really easy to visit them a lot. Now I kind of know where they are, and so we just had the greatest conversation. We had a lovely time.
Connecting again, yeah.
Nothing that compares with a miraculous coma story, but after our toilets had major plumbing issues on Tuesday, the plumbing has been fixed and we have toilets at work again, and I will never take plumbing for granted again.
Yeah. Anything for you, Remley?
I survived my first
You did.
set of High Holy Days here.
And you did it beautifully. And I was happy I had a high A at the end of the whole thing. That was still there, so that made me happy.
From Facebook, at least, we had, and I loved being able to be there in person for Yom Kippur, and I love the Friday night melodies. I also got to, I know that this is like really small, but I got to see the salmon jumping. It was really fun. Yuval also had a great time watching for the fish jumping. They're so silly, he said. We also turn to thinking of those who are in need of healing, of mind, healing of body, healing of spirit. And so I invite those of you who are thinking of someone or many someones to share their names with us at this time.
June Levine.
Jonah. The Misha Berach for healing can be found on page 253.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor Abracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishe Berach Imotenu Mekor Abracha La'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Got a story for you today. It's been a long week. David was putting one of the last blocks on his tower when his little sister came in. "I want to build with you," she said. David scowled. "Go away, you're too little." "But I'm big," Sarah responded. "Ugh, stay back, you'll knock it over." "But I can be very careful," Sarah begged. "Go play with your baby toys, Sarah," David said back. "But David," she screeched. And Sarah ran over and knocked his tower down. Thwack! David pushed Sarah as hard as he could, and she fell to the ground. As Sarah sat on the floor crying, David turned around. Zadie Morris was standing there. Zadie Morris was David and Sarah's grandpa, and sometimes he took care of them. Zadie Morris shook his head. "David, you just dipped from your sister's bucket." "What?" "Like everyone else, Sarah has an invisible bucket. When it's empty, she feels bad. but when it's full, she feels great. Didn't you ever notice your own bucket? Zadie asked. Invisible bucket. That's silly. But David also was a little bit curious. Maybe he did have an invisible bucket. He couldn't quite tell when his Zadie was joking or when he was being serious. But the next morning, when David woke up, there it was over his head, a small gray bucket. When David came down to have breakfast, his mom was in a hurry. I've got a social action meeting at the temple, you've got religious school, and we're running late. David needed to eat breakfast, though, so he reached on his tippy toes in the cabinet for his favorite cereal. But he slipped, and the chocolate chip spilled across the floor. David, his mother scolded, you should have used the stool to get that. David could feel his bucket tip. Drip, drip, drip. Ha ha, Sarah laughed as she crunched cereal with her shoe. Drip, drip. Get the broom and clean that up. You don't want to be late for tefillah, scolded his mom again. David began to clean up his mess, and he could hear his mom getting into the car, starting to honk her horn. David quickly swept up the chocolate chips and grabbed last piece of challah, but before he could even take a single bite, Mitzi the dog jumped up and grabbed it from his hand. Who has a dog who will grab your challah? Drip, drip. When he got to temple, things did not improve. Hey, look at David's new sneakers. My baby brother has sneakers just like that, said one bucket dipper. Drip, drip. He could feel everyone talking about his new shoes that he'd asked for as a birthday present. Drip, drip. Watch out, shrimp, said another big kid, plowing past David on his way into the sanctuary. Drip, drip. It was still morning, and David felt like his bucket was almost empty. He was angry, and he was sad. And as he watched his friends walk into the room, he secretly hoped that they would trip and fall. That's what it feels like when you have an empty bucket. He slumped into his seat and waited for something else bad to happen. Rabbi Susie walked slowly over to his desk later that morning and handed him a paper. He could hardly bear to look. David, Rabbi Susie said, you wrote a wonderful story about Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Would you please share it with the class? David felt a huge grin spread across his face and felt a big drop land right into his bucket. Drop, drop. The day the shofar blast wouldn't stop. By me, David. The class grew quiet. They laughed in all the right places. When David finally read the end, everyone clapped. Even Hannah, who sat next to him and didn't even usually say hi, told him how much she liked his story. He felt a whole shower of drops filling his bucket. Maybe today wouldn't be so bad after all. On their way to music, Rabbi Susie invited David to be a line leader. Drop, drop. David's bucket was nearly full. David suddenly realized that his Zadie was right. Everyone had a bucket. He turned to Gabe, the new kid, and introduced himself. Hi, I'm David. Welcome to Temple Beth. Is this your first day? I think you'll like it here. Drop, drop. Whoa, when I fill someone else's bucket, it fills mine too. When David burst in the door after Hebrew school, he shouted, "You were right, Zadie! I do have a bucket and I understand how it works." Then he saw Sarah crying over a torn doll. That Mitzi at it again. And he almost scolded Mitzi. But then he thought, maybe dogs might have a bucket too. Your doll will be okay, Sarah. Mom will fix it. But until then, do you want to help me build the tallest building in the world with my blocks? And so they did. This time, typically we say between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, but actually it stretches all the way through Simchat Torah, is about being a bucket filler. We all know that when we are unkind or not nice, or rude or cynical, we take a dip into other people's buckets and sometimes into our own. But when we are kind, when we are generous, when we recognize what people are going through and give them the benefit of the doubt, we can help fill their buckets, just as we fill our own. So this year, may all of our buckets be full, and may we help fill others as well. Shabbat Shalom. I'd like to invite up Sean to give some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom.
To include in the announcements I was already going to prepare. Oh, thank you. It helps to be heard. If you are new to our temple, welcome. I'm one of your temple board members here, so I extend a very warm welcome to anyone who's new or seeing us for the first time or coming here for the first time, and to everyone else online as well. Hope you come back, and hope we don't scare you away. So our temple president has asked that I make this announcement. For those of you who don't know her, her name is Carolyn Elsey. 2 members of our congregation have had their emails hacked, and suspicious emails went out to their contacts. It's a good time to remind everyone that no one, not the rabbi, not the cantor, not the office staff, and no one on the board will ever approach you by phone or email asking for money outside of a formal fundraising drive, such as the High Holiday Appeal. All fundraising is done through organized campaigns, and will never ask for gift cards or direct personal payments to PayPal or other payment apps. If you are ever approached by email or phone about giving money or have any concerns, always contact the office. And I'm going to apologize. My eyes are a little irritated. It might be from the lighting, so I'm so sorry. We have a Sukkot dinner coming up Sunday evening. We have a Sukkot service on Monday morning at 10 a.m. If you would like to attend a discussion with U.S. Supreme Court representatives on some legal-related issues, and now I can't remember what those legal issues are. The deadline to register for that is October 12th. The event is on October 20th. We have a service on October 16th. Give me just a second to find that. I'm so sorry. Not finding it as quickly as I'd like. That's a Sukkot dinner. No, I'm sorry, Simchat Torah dinner, October 16th at 5 p.m. If you'd like more information, you can find that information in the monthly bulletin or the Shabbat Shalom email that comes out weekly. All of our onegs are now going to be pre-negs, so they will be at about 5:45 in the afternoon prior to service. So please feel free to come here for that. They will not be after service at this time. A big thank you to everybody who's had a part in the service, our technical support team, our rabbi, our cantor, Debbie Japp, everyone who helped set up and take down the oneg that we had earlier. Thank you very much for being here, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the service in your evening. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
A little more specifically, thank you to Jason Berkowitz and Larry Schlessel for our tech team tonight. Thank you to Deb Friedman for setting up and cleaning up the oneg. And thank you also to Sean, not just for announcements, but also for providing security this evening, and to Wendy for our candle lighting. And to all of you for being patient while Yuval harvests all of the decorations. We continue now with our concluding prayers, starting with Aleinu, page 282.
Please rise. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teit gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asadu kigoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adam. שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
You may be seated. The light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled, it burns, it glows. It is radiant with warmth and beauty, but soon it fades. Its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance, and our life burns down and gutters. There's an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. On this Shabbat, we think of Milton Piatak, the father of Charles Piatak, Norman Simon, the husband of Barbara and the brother of Herb, and Mark Allen Peterson, the father of Aaron. We also think of those whose yahrzeits occur in the coming week: Adeline Barty, Charlotte Cohen, Bertha Fink, Ben Flax, Robert Grayson, Kenneth Hyman, Kenneth Henkin, Trudy Leonard, Rita Lowenthal, Haskell Levitt Meyer, August Miller, Louise Ohlert Sexton, Eva Rochlin, Martin Rosenberg, Harry Ruth, Judith Tofias Seeley, Joseph Sellinger, and Sam Steinman. As we think of them, we say, Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing. The words of the mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 294, and I invite everyone to rise in body or spirit. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yirtei ve'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, b'agalau v'zman kari v'yimru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mivrach le'olam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudasha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates peace on high bring peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, as together we say, amen. We conclude our service this evening with Ein Keloheinu, page 327.
And this is the Sephardic Ladino, one of the languages, or the language of the Sephardic Jews of Spain, and you will be singing it in Hebrew and in Ladino. Ein Keloheinu, ein Kadonenu, ein Kemokenu, ein Kemoshienu, non como nuestro Dios, non como nuestro Señor, non como nuestro Rey, non como nuestro Salvador. Mi Eloheinu, mi Adonenu, mi Chemokenu, mi Chemoshienu, quien como nuestro Dios, quien como nuestro Señor, quien como nuestro Rey, quien como nuestro Salvador. No del Eloheinu, no del Adonenu, no del Eloheinu, no del Moshienu. Lo haremos a nuestro Dios, lo haremos a nuestro Señor, lo haremos a nuestro Rey, lo haremos a nuestro Salvador. Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu. Bendito nuestro Dios, bendito nuestro Señor, bendito nuestro Rey, bendito nuestro Salvador. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu. Tú sos nuestro Dios, tú sos nuestro Señor, tú sos nuestro Rey, tú sos nuestro Salvador. Shabbat Shalom.